Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And as outlined in the introductory video, I'll mainly be posting chess videos and GitHub code reviews or explaining how projects are under development. Well, this first video is going to be a chess game review. It's a game which I myself played quite recently as white. It was a rapid game, a 10-minute game, and I'm not going to be revealing the result of this game until the end. So we start with a relatively standard opening e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to c4. We get knight to f6, knight to c3, and h6. So h6 is kind of looking to prevent knight g5 and knight takes f7 fried liver ideas. I play castles, bishop to c5, and yes, we've got a very standard opening where both players have developed their pieces into the center and have taken good central control with pawns d3, d6, and rook to e1. So white has almost finished developing, and so is black. Now all white has to do is simply move their dark squared bishop, and white will have an army of forces ready to attack. Bishop to g4 pins the knight to the queen, but it's not really a threat because, say, if h3 is played, which is what happens in the game, taking this is not really going to be that useful because after queen takes, you haven't damaged the pawn structure and weakened white's king. I know it's still the best thing for black to do, but black is not winning if this trade takes place. So my opponent goes back to h5, and I actually like this move. I don't like taking so much because I feel you're kind of helping white. Bishop to e3. Now, there's no need to trade the bishops as of now, which is why the engine calls this an inaccuracy. But my opponent isn't interested in trading and plays knight to d4, blocking the bishop's vision on my bishop. Here I play bishop takes knight, just giving away the bishop. Not quite sure what I was thinking here. And g4. He now takes on c3, which is actually a great move. It's the only move that keeps the advantage, really. And I have to take because notice that when this bishop, it's continuity. So this bishop is attacking my rook. So I have to take. And he plays knight takes g4. Now, knight takes g4 is actually quite unnecessary. It's much better to just pull your bishop back. There's no need to sacrifice in this position. But I need to know how to refute this plan, and I don't. Queen e2 doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now because, again, you are just helping black. Now, here, a lot of pressure is mounting onto this knight. You can see black has two attackers, and I only have one defender. So, the top engine move, and what I actually found in this game, is the quite ugly yet quite effective king to g2. Opponent plays queen to g6, and here I play a move which was awarded a brilliant sticker by chess.com. Rook to g1, okay? Now, rook to g1, you can see it is kind of lining up some pressure against the queen. So after bishop to h5 check, king to f1, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, you can see that this queen, the file has cleared up and the rook is now putting immense pressure. Now I should trade the queens and now I'm simply much better. a6, rook g2, bishop b3, a4. He tries to lock the structure, but I exchange pawns and I double up. You can see that now we have entered an endgame where white is completely winning. This is a massive threat because after takes, it is a skewer which will win a full rook. So this is a massive threat, and my opponent responds to it by queenside castle. Rook back to a1, not taking the free pawn on f7. Again, this is an endgame, and I'm not very good at endgames, so I am making a few mistakes here. Rook to h to e8 and a5. f5 takes d5, a very critical move, and now a6. I'm on the cusp of promotion here. So e4 takes, rook takes e4 check, king to d3, king b8, a7. Now there's very little that can be done to stop promotion, and you can see that it is far better here to play king to d7 and allow bishop d5 check, okay, because at least this does not trap your own king. Okay, now obviously after takes, white is completely winning, but you can hold the position after rook to d8, and it's very difficult to win immediately for white. I mean, you still need to work quite hard. Instead of doing all of this, my opponent ran to a8. We get bishop d5 check. Now, bishop d5 check I actually really like. The engine thinks it's a mistake because after this, the this is the same sequence as what we saw earlier. This is not yet checkmating black. But my opponent goes rook d2 and blunders mate himself. And rook g8 check, king b7, a8 with queen check. My opponent resigned. Reason being is that king to b6 is forced, and at this point, queen a6 check leads to mate on the very next move. So my opponent had to resign, and I ended up winning this game. My favorite move was, in fact, this brilliant move over here, rook to g1, which set up this massive attack, getting ready for me to double up the rooks. And yeah, this was the winning attack, which I managed to find in a quite ugly looking, horrible position.